We're live. Welcome to another live stream. We're going to go straight to the point, even markets, looking at our strategies, our stocks, and then showing you what's new in QuantWheel.
Hey, Luca, this week is probably one of the worst ones so far. I'm already coming
I
straight
had
to
many
you.
of these, so.
But yeah, I'm not that. It doesn't. I mean, it sucks seeing red, but I'm not that worried because all the things that are super red are already like in an oversold state. So I think they're gonna come up again. What about you?
I see a couple of very well. The one that I mentioned, TEM, the last couple of live streams going well, but I'm just wheeling it. It probably will not sell that soon unless I will have to sell it because getting a sign. CoreWeave is as usual, IREN as usual, SoFi is performing pretty well. Amazon is not performing, and buy even more shares. Now I've accumulated a couple of hundred. And yeah, my strategy is selling puts and covering calls on O, so real estate interest, so rate is going well so far, about 2%, 3% probably in profit in a month. I think the key is you have monthly expiries, and the premium is very low. But then at some days, the price spikes, and then you sell a covered call. So not strictly 30 days, but at some point it expires. And the good thing is it expires in about 20 days, but the dividend will be sooner than that. Will drop. I will not have to sell. Maybe I buy even more, then go even riskier with covered calls, collect dividend, collect the premium. We'll see how it goes. So far, JEPQ and O, and I will let you know how it goes. But I'm also net zero today, just breaking even, not so red.
That's awesome.
But I had red days this week, so it's going okay.
Yeah, I got. I'm super perplexed why the China stocks are going down so much. I think all the news about it is just completely useless, and that doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, we can go through that in the market review.
Yep. I wanted to add a couple of things. Also, RoboStrategy released its net asset value. It's very low. It's about $11, but it was 7 before. Now it's 11, I think.
Nice.
It's growing, but the price is dropping because they released net asset value. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But for now, it's doing okay.
Yeah, I just sold those cash secure puts yesterday, and yeah, I'll need to see how they're doing.
Nice. I'll probably sell even more today.
Yeah, I think one thing we discussed last time, Intuit exploded just as we discussed about it. That was a nice spike. Did you go into the trade?
No. I almost never go into trades that we discuss on the call, unfortunately, but just a couple. But you crush it every time.
Yeah, and then I do other stuff, and then that goes red, so it's fine. Yeah, do you want to go first through your watch list, or do you prefer me?
just to let you know, I just sold really nice premium puts on bot. It's 325 bid. So if you're going to sell more, 325 is a really good one. It's if you're adjusting your bid price, 325 will get executed.
For a 26 strike price or what? 25?
25, yeah.
Yeah, I have 20 puts and they're doing good. For July,
Nice.
I think that's a great
Yeah.
level.
Huge spread there. Huge spread, which is
Yeah,
too bad.
I'm in the money on many of my CSPs, so I cannot afford more of the assignments this month.
Yeah, and I'll see what I will do later. I'm becoming more and more risk averse, just because what I think in the world. The more I know, the less I try to risk with my money.
Yeah, I've
You know
realized one
how?
thing about me, and that is impacting the way I trade. I think I like to be right when others are wrong, or like I
Mhm.
hate to be wrong with the herd. So that's why I was probably missing out on huge deals like Micron, and it was just always everyone knows about it. Like, what is going to make me special by just following the herd?
Yeah,
That's actually,
yeah.
yeah, that's wrong. So I need to fix that going forward.
I don't know, because if you do this 100 times, how many times are you going to get the Micron situation?
There's always this kind of favorite stocks like Tesla. I was always wrong about that. Micron. There's always something that the public loves, and you need to ride the wave. I need to learn that skill.
For me, I think it's better to do less, and it was always like that. I was looking at Micron too, at but it was already late in my book, 300, and now it's 1,100.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, I'm happy with my 1 to 2% per month, and I'm going to trade more and more stocks that are not volatile and compared my options in real estate income. That's it. If it earns more than real estate, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it should. I think it should.
Yeah.
So,
Another one more it's interesting is traders who go and sign up for copy trading in QuantWheel. I think that is so cool to see what others are doing. So I think
mm,
we should, in one of our next live streams, go there, share the screen, and check and talk about that. That would be pretty cool.
yeah, I agree. So there we have a question in the chat. If I have to use QuantWheel to sell CSPs on MU, how would you recommend to go about it? Um,
First, you first.
yeah, I can go. I can go first. I'll tell you. I'll just share my screen and go through that. All right. So that's a great question. I would actually first just go straight into Gex AI and check what is the dealer positioning. Basically, check the put wall and then go from there. MU. It depends, obviously, what is my time horizon. Um, Maybe actually we can go with a heat map. That's going to give us a better overview of the future expirations in one view. And you can clearly see multiple put walls for multiple expirations. If you don't know how to read that, you can just ask QuantWheel Intelligence in the chat. hey, pull out the MU heat map and Vana and Charm and explain it to me. It's gonna be doing a very good job. It seems like we have quite a lot of traffic. So while this is loading, I can go straight into the wheel. I'll share this in another tab. Or actually, I think my internet is very slow today. I don't know what's happening.
Comment a few things about the question. So, if I have to use QuantWheel to sell CSP, how would you recommend I go about it?
All right.
First of all, I would be very cautious if you're selling CSPs on MU, just because it spiked a lot, and be careful which position you're taking and what you're going to do if you get assigned and the price drops, because there could be a long drop there. But I leave showing you basically. I think it's good to explain what is gex even, and but just so that it's
Yeah,
clear why you.
exactly. So I wanted to see the whole heat map because, as you can see, it gives you visually the full dealer positioning across multiple expirations. And like you should take your time looking at this, not just scan quickly over it. It's very important to first take a look at the zone and the gamma flip level. This is basically where the dealer positioning switches from positive to negative. So if the current price is above the gamma flip, that makes it more positive for bulls. It kind of tends to attract the bullish environment because any kind of um, drops in the price are dampened and smoothened by the dealers. If it's in the negative gamma, then we get more explosive moves. So yeah, I've noticed that in positive gamma, we also tend to go higher, and all the put walls are more respected. Basically, we more often bounce from them than not. That's number one. That's what you need to first know. And then I look at the levels, like huge level here at this week expiration for 1200, huge call wall, and the second one is 1250. So it seems like that price might be attracted towards those levels, um, which is not too high from the current price, right? So not that much upside in the books. And then I look at also the colors. As you can see, we are in very green for this week, but it's kind of dropping for the weeks going forward. That's what I need to know when I look at my CSPs and the DTs, when I pick the DT. So like if I go with an early DT, for example, this week, it's going to be affecting the strike price compared to the next week. So in the following weeks, obviously, there's a huge kind of actually it's a put wall across multiple expirations, but none of them are super strong. As you can see, 7.5 million in the call wall compared to the 1 million on the put wall. It's not that big of a it's a big difference. So it's not a big put wall. Yeah, that's where I look at. So uh, look at first to see kind of the general levels and the dealer positioning, and then go straight into the wheel, find deals, and see our screener. I think every single strike price makes a huge difference, and every single bid ask will also show us slightly different percentage on your yield. And yeah, 1% per month, yeah, accumulates. Okay, so here we pick just our MU, and then you can select your preferences. Like I'm personally very risk averse, so I think Luca is as well. I would just pick like something like 0.25 at most, if I don't want to get assigned. If I'm okay with getting assigned and just want to collect premium and wheel MU, then yeah, I put like something as 0.3 delta and take a look at my numbers. Um, okay, so first one tool is telling us, hey, this is interesting. This week's expirations are on these levels. Um, yeah, as we saw in the heat map, for this week we can be more aggressive because there's very positive gamma, high high levels of dealer positioning. But then as we go into the other weeks, we have to be more careful, and Quant will recognize that. Look at this. Next week, the number one thing that it's kind of telling us to look at is 825. That's a huge difference. So yeah, I would probably look at, depending what you want. If you want to get assigned, be more aggressive, collect more premium. These options are interesting. And then, yeah, if you want to play it safe, take a look at some of them, some of these below. Obviously, I did not put it here, but I think yearly filter is crucial as well. If you want to make at least 20% yearly, then set up your filter and look at these options. Yeah, there's a new change here as well. Let's say this option here, for example, it tells you what exactly are you committing with. It's a bit cleaner, and then it also shows you the gex we saw in the previous chart.
You
All
have
right,
a
that was a
question,
lot of
Milan.
talk. Sorry, go ahead.
You have a question. So Square asks, so if I go 80% POP, which is below the put wall, I should have a pretty good chance of letting it expire worthless.
Current put wall is at 1,000. As it stands, like I was trading this whole week based off of gex and put walls and dealer positioning and Vana, and then there was some news that completely switched it up, and then you have to react. So things could change with some news very quickly. It's not a guarantee.
I'll 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 share my view on this. If I may completely skip MU. Square, you're saying there is a 3 premium at 825, but you should also consider at 800 signed. In those 7 days, you're going to pay 80,000, and it continues dropping, and it could. You're going to have unrealized losses, and maybe you will not find a good option to sell anymore. So if I was you, I would not focus on MU and I would not focus on premium unless you really like MU and you would buy it anyways if you get assigned at 825. If you do decide to do this and you do this at DTE 7 and you sell a strike and you sell at 825 strike, what I would do if I was you, I would not roll assigned and then sell a covered call at like highest delta possible just to get assigned and just yeah exactly 825 is not worth it to if I was you, I would focus on two numbers on the screen that Ivan is showing right now. Focus on delta and yearly. Why delta and why yearly? Just because delta will show you what are the chances of this option to get assigned. Yearly, just for you to see if this is worth the risk. And for me, when I look at that, I'm looking at stable stocks that I would like to own anyways. If I like to keep them and uncovering calls, shorter expiration dates. And usually if I'm doing it on QuantWheel, I am able to catch another, let's say, 0.5% every 30 days in premium more than if I did it on broker, just because I can compare the strike prices and the yields in the same screen. It happens to me every single time I do this. And then translate it to 36% instead of 28. And if I get assigned to stock I don't want to hold that long, I don't see the future, I just get the highest delta possible. For example, what I'm doing now. Ivan, can you open O, please? Stock O, just the O ticker.
Yeah,
Real.
can we just quickly go to the chart of MU?
Yeah. Yeah. You please.
Just to like wrap up this part, I mean, also it takes. It's good to just take a look at the chart, and obviously we have a gap here. So sometimes the stocks tend to fill this gap that is right about the 1,100 level. There's obvious trend line as well. So I would set an alert for this trend line in TradingView, and then if it drops, I would basically go and like reconsider my position. Okay, yeah. Look, I said we have. Oh,
Yeah. You're saying which ticker are you guys doing CSPs on? Do you do DT7 or at all, or always go for long DTs? I like the quick premium collections on the weeklies. So all has all is a little bit different. It's a REIT, so real estate trust, and while I'm doing it on REIT, if you look at the chart of this stock, it had most consistent dividends for as long as you can imagine. It's pretty stable, and the chart is just going upright. And even if I get assigned, I'll be fine. I'll just collect dividends at whatever 5% yearly, and the premium, as long as I sell it, it's going to give me about 1 to 2% per month. And you can see that the last time period is just being at a similar price level. So you can just repeat that and collect the premium. If you do this for about 6 months, if you get to 10 to 20% in premium, that kind of stock will probably never drop 10 to 20%. I'm never saying never, but for this kind, I would love to buy it and hold it because it's one of the most popular dividend stocks. This is one that I started doing this on just because I get the dividend. This month I'm going to get the dividend. It's going to drop, so I'm going to sell the covered call and close the option early. Maybe I get assigned, and if I hold it, I will again sell a covered call at the close expiry. That means that if they had 7 DT, I would sell 7 DT, but they don't. They have I think monthlies only.
cool. Oh yeah, I also like the quick premium collection on the weeklies, and then it gives me time to roll if things go bad. But also sometimes I just do my long-term position strategies 3 months out. Um, for example, I sold a cash secured put on KWeb. I can show this tab as well. It had a huge put wall around $25, which was then broken. And if you zoom out, it also has dividends. It has around 8% dividend, but it is paid out yearly. So I just took out a nice like premium, I think 10%, 12% a yearly in the premium. Sorry, no, in the premium for 3 months. And if I get assigned, I'll get dividend in the month after that of 8%. So it's like 10% right now plus 8% in dividend if I get assigned. It's like 20% yield just by being patient. So, and this stock has historically low levels at around 20, so that will bring me about there. So if I go long term, this is kind of my long term play where I just collect as much premium as I can before the dividend, then I collect the dividend and go from there. From there, into it was one play where we saw short term positioning in the dealer's gamma, so that was a short term play, and Hesai also was a short term play with this week 15 CSP expiration. Yeah, so it depends on the play, on the chart, on what QuantWheel intelligence is telling me about the gex. So that's how I play it.
Ivan, can
Go
you
ahead.
go on to please? I wanna
Yes.
show in practice how this looks like. What I'm doing, for example, on one of the most popular infra AI growth stocks. Go with
Which
IREN,
one?
please, and now sort by expiration date. No, DTEs, CSPs only.
CSPs only. Do you need some filters?
No, just see sort by DTE or sort by difference. Sorry, difference. So this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm looking at the biggest difference between strike and stock price. This one strike is 16, 18. That yearly, how much is it yearly?
It's
That's
3%.
3.5% yearly. That's too low for me. So I go down, 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 scroll down, and I go to around, let's say this one is 13.2. Takes 58 days, too much to. So you can either adjust the filters or just scroll down and you see this one down. More, 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 more. Yeah, this one is, let's say, 21.3%. Or if you want 23 days or 30 days, the one July 24th strike is 30. Go down. The one at the bottom. Yeah, this one 12% yearly. The delta is what is delta? 6%. So there's almost no chance you're gonna get assigned here. If you get assigned, you're lucky for this kind of stock, in my view, and you get a pretty nice premium. 12% yearly. This one is as secure as it gets for the future proofing your assignment. I would go personally. I would go to 35 to 45 strike here. Even if I get assigned at this level, I'm happy. But this is what I do basically, and I own IREN, CoreWeave, different stocks like this. This not financial. I would do this as long as it's volatile, and it's been volatile. I'm more IREN for about a year, and CoreWeave. So my break even is pretty low.
This premiums are awesome. Like what? Look at this. 8 days and diff about 40%. That's crazy, and it gives you like 16% yearly. If you really get assigned here, like 50% drop in 8 days.
For
I mean, last
IREN.
right? Like that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And I think I want to mention this is not the maximum you can get out of this. This is only, let's say you sell this cash secure put, you collect those, I don't know, $20 on the 3,000 uh, secured. But if iron shoots up and doubles tomorrow, these premiums will drop like crazy, and you can just close it for free basically. So you will pocket all of this money in 1 day and not 8 days. So this is not the maximum amount you can earn annualized. This is if you let it expire. But sometimes with these plays, it does pay off to play it a bit safe in your worst case scenario. But if it ends up being a good case, you can just collect the premium, close early, and it's going to be annualized a lot better. I mean, a lot more cash efficient if you recycle that cash. Hope that makes sense. And uh, but yeah, good questions here.
Yep. A good thing is also when stock like this one to drops, to do it, to let it drop and then go to covered calls instead of cash secured puts for IREN as well. Please
Oh yeah,
go covered calls. And then also same philosophy. If I don't want to get assigned, I would go with difference, sort by difference. And I would go with something where I would, if it grows 50% in a month, I would like to sell this
wow.
anyways. So premium also is crazy here. Almost no chance this happens, and I can just repeat this all the time. And this stock is going to grow in the next 5 to 10 years. Probably going to be more valuable than it is today. In the meantime, I can collect 1% per month. So
This is a crazy premium. Look at this, 1 month, 50% upside, and you get 1.7, almost 2%.
Yeah.
And 50% upside. Like if it grows, you'll earn a lot of money on the stock, right?
So
So
right now on
this is wow.
on every 100 shares, you would earn what 20 no 2,500 if you get assigned on this option. So you would get the premium plus 2,500 on every contract if you get assigned.
Yeah, basically, QuantWheel will tell you collect 85 in premium and commit to sell 100 shares of IREN for $7,500, which is a lot more than today is worth is 5,000, right?
Yep.
This is crazy. These premiums are wonderful. So look at what would you do? Let's say you don't have an IREN position. How would you benefit from this?
If I don't want to get IREN, or
Like you don't have, let's say you're me. I don't have an IREN position right now. How would you benefit from this covered call if I don't have IREN, like 100 IREN shares right now? Would you enter IREN right now? Would you just buy shares and sell this covered call?
if
Would
I
you,
was
yeah,
if I was you, I would go with CSPs at 40, 5 contracts at 44, 5 at 45, and buy 100 shares right now and cover calls on 500 shares, so 5 contracts that are delta 40, and so go a little bit riskier just because you just bought them, and then pray for this to drop and get assigned on more.
Oh, I see. So you go with like you just buy the stock. So you go like low delta, or I mean, high delta on the covered calls. So you collect as much premium as you can, and then yeah, if you get assigned, who cares? You get 14% upside in 1.5 months plus 6.3%, like
but
20% basically.
but a
Wow,
big
yeah,
thing with
that's smart.
iron, if you're trading iron for a long time, open the chart. So I already know how iron as a stock will behave probably until it breaks out somehow. But until get what is happening, it had this huge upside and then is very volatile, extremely volatile. It's always in the range between 60 and 40, let's say. And I did this, I would always look for weeks, because if today you buy and cover call at 56 and in a week you get a sign at 56, I would bet that it would drop in the next 30 days.
I see.
And I would buy it again under 56 and do it again. And that's why QuantWheel gives you break, always buy below break even and always cover call above break even, and you can just repeat that for as long as it's about 40 to 60. If it breaks out, this will not be possible anymore. But if you get your break even below 50, let's say 45, then you just buy as many as you want to hold at 45 or below, and then focus on 1%, 2% per month.
Yeah, that's smart. We're basically saying it's so volatile that you want to capture those premiums on both sides, right?
Yeah,
Just as much as you can.
it's crazy. And
It's always going up and down. Yeah.
every time I do this, I'm thinking this is the last time I'm doing it, and it happens again. So let's say last week, I think I closed my July puts at 30 and 40 early, just because it was so volatile and it grew so much. You can see these green candles, that I closed my CSPs too early. Not too early, but I collected premium at 84, 80, 90% of profit, and now it dropped again. So
Yeah.
I sold puts again, and I
Same
also
puts.
covered.
Yeah.
It's just like farming, you know.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You just recycle that cash all over again, like as much as you
Yeah,
can, right?
yeah. Same thing
Um,
with CoreWave, guys. CoreWave is extremely similar. Another important thing with CoreWave, I've been there for a long, long time. Cool thing to know is Nvidia as a company owns average stock price is 80 cents. 7 for Nvidia. So if it gets below that, you're better than Nvidia. So that's maybe a good indicator at where you should sell your puts. 87 is good entrance to buy. Anything below that, you're better at a better price than Nvidia. Similar thing. Look at the volatility here.
This
You
is
can do
crazy.
some
Like,
crazy things here.
this is honestly crazy. I was trying to chart this, as you can see with my lines, but it just too much. I don't see any patterns here, and yeah, it's in the bull trend. Like, it broke out of this trend line. It's making higher highs and higher lows, and that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
So
I think my break even is 84 now. I've been doing this for a long time. Didn't have great prices where I got assigned, but I'm doing this for a while. I first time I bought CoreWeave, I think it was less than 40 for sure. A year ago, I think, if I'm right, a year ago, somewhere there. Yeah, and I didn't know this would happen. I didn't know much about options then. I didn't know much about AI boom and what is CoreWeave. I just saw that Jensen Huang bought CoreWeave stock,
yeah, I remember you
and
told
I
me that.
didn't realize that I was on.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Wonderful. One thing I wanted to share with people is, I know it's China trades, but Alibaba, I mean, I think Warren Buffett and Michael Burry are both loading up on them and have a huge percentage of portfolio in this stock. It's basically like Amazon and Nvidia of Asia, and just dropping instead of growing, even with the AI trade. So recently they've been, I don't know, blacklisted by the U.S. government. That happens all the time, and then just they complain and they deal, like, they put them back into the regular list. It does not impact their business at all. It just, they cannot sell things to American government, and they're not doing that anyways. Um, so just some random news, but it's been impacting the price a lot, and right now it's back again in this level, with that should have a huge buy demand and huge support. As you can see here, historically, it has been, I think, never this oversold on the daily. So historically, we've always bounced from this level. Uh, and I think people will be saying, why didn't I buy it at this level? I don't know, 1 year from now, when they see it back up again. So I think, if I was telling to my brother, who asked me, like, what should I buy if I want to get into stocks, I'll probably tell him just buy Alibaba at this level. Um, yeah.
Nice.
Another one is probably Microsoft. That's very interesting. It just continues to drop. We talked about it, and yeah, the chart doesn't look pretty. It looks bearish. It could go lower, but it's Microsoft. It's the levels, um, that you will not be seeing probably very often. And yeah, I would just take a little position in Microsoft. If it drops more, I would load up more. Um, I think they have business everywhere, including AI.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'll
Probably
probably buy.
slightly,
Yeah.
yeah,
I will buy Microsoft here and sell puts at some every week now until I accumulate a couple of hundreds of shares. It reminds me of, it could drop more, but it reminds me of Meta. I remember 2021,
yeah,
22, I think. I was so stupid not to buy that. Crazy low. And Microsoft is looking good even here.
yeah. I mean, I think they're making still, what is this, 30+ billion per quarter, 100 billion per year in profit. So
And what's the market cap now?
market cap is 2.6 trillion. So trading about that 25 trailing PE. So yeah, I think
I thought right now.
yeah, probably properly valued. But then again, you're not hearing any crazy stories about Microsoft with AI. But then yesterday I saw my friend post my ex team in Microsoft, they released a co-work product, and while they released it, 50% of the S&P 500 is already using it. So 50% of companies in the S&P 500 is using it at the launch. So that's the Microsoft effect, where like the distribution they have
Yeah,
is crazy, and the enterprise
and I think
knowledge is
also
yeah.
worth mentioning is if you look at any of those 50% of companies in S&P 500, 200, and you look at how they're operating in the alternatives to Microsoft, probably costly and so difficult to switch from Microsoft to something else that they will never do it. So it's like the stickiest revenue that could be.
That's right. I think the part about AI is yes, um, it does empower people to be more productive, but also so many companies just it's not their core business. They just want to get more productive, and there's going to be a huge consulting type of business, and that's where exactly where Microsoft excels
Yep.
in yeah, the enterprise game. So
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
no
All
financial
right.
advice here,
Two more.
but I think Microsoft, Amazon are interesting, and Alibaba for the Asia side of this. Um, yeah, uh, I think we are almost out of time, but before that, maybe a few dashboard updates. Um,
Yeah. Two more questions.
uh,
So just to answer your question, I won't read it. If you want to sell CSP on MU, just sell it at the level where get assigned. Like, not sure, but make sure that you can justify yourself getting assigned there. That you have a proper story, which gives you an explanation that if this happens, you're fine with doing with because there's a high chance that will happen with MU, and if it happens, be happy to own it next whatever 2 3 5 years and see the upside because otherwise you're gonna feel bad if you look at your numbers and they show red and they're negative. So please do it. Feel free to do it, but just be sure that you can justify it to yourself in if the worst case scenario happens.
yeah,
And
that's basically my strategy in most of those times. If the stock crashes, rolling it can release some of my capital, so I can basically take money out of my trade with rolling. That's what I like about it. It's maybe not the
yep,
optimal winning strategy, but I just like that feeling of getting my cash out of the trade. Luca probably likes the stock; he wants to get as much out of it. I personally just like to keep my cash. So there's two sides, and up to you. But yeah, agree with Luca. If you sell at CSP, you should be ready to get assigned.
yeah,
Um,
uh, yeah,
cool. Quickly, just going through some of the new updates in QuantWheel. Let me just go back to the 100% zoom. We've simplified this view a little bit. As you can see, there's a lot less numbers on the screen. But then if you click into one of your wheels, this is a stock that I own that I've been wheeling, GDXJ. And I can see my break even going down, my cost base is going down. I quickly know where to sell my next covered calls, but also it's going to now show me what are some of the covered call ideas. So in this one screen, I can see what are the covered calls I can be selling. I don't have to go to covered calls tab anymore. Similarly, if I see, okay, sell the Baba call 106, I can click into this and see my covered calls right next to the position. That's one thing. I also think you've probably seen it in the find deals section. If you click on one deal, you can see a lot simpler view with just what you basically care about is your gex levels and the chart. So that's about everything you need. In the role section, it used to be a lot of numbers. You had RVIV that you had to always think, what does it mean? Now you just see, hey, right now charter is high volatility. If I need to roll it, probably a good time. And then yeah, it's still refreshing. It takes some time, but also previously I would have to click through all of my positions to see how the rolls are looking. But then here it already gives me the potential rolls and showing me how much can I collect on average, or like give me an estimate where should I look at. So for example, CBRS, I'm still out of money, 12%. But if I want to roll, I can collect $600 more. So again, a lot less clicks for you, a lot less thinking, and you can clearly see those. I think this is very exciting for me. I roll a lot, and seeing it here in one screen, it's priceless, to be honest. So yeah, I'm starting to use QuantWheel extensively in my own trading, a lot more than I used to before, and I think that's a good sign. Luca, anything you have before we wrap up?
I forgot to. So the question about CSP for MU, I'm coming back to it. You are talking about $3.15 in premium while you're risking 825. That's 0.3% per week. I think 1.2% per month, so 0.3% per week is 1.2 per month. Achieve that with many stocks. You don't need MU to get 1.2% in a month, which is extremely volatile and risky. If you're just interested in premium and not necessarily in this stock, then don't sell CSP on MU. Find something more stable. In 30 days, their stock will give you 1% in premium. Doesn't have to be extremely volatile. So if you don't care about MU specifically, I would do it with something else. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I like the dashboard. I think every week there's tons of updates. Guys, if you're with us here, thank you for your support. Thank you for giving us suggestions and answering the email. I think we answer everything, and we're just gonna get it better. We're removing lots of things that are a distraction and trying to give you clearest possible to take with the stock that you like.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.